Hello everybody. Today in this session we will check how if there is any Excel file, how we can consume that Excel file in Talend Open Studio. So for that, if I have an Excel file, then first of all, let me create a metadata for it so that in case I want to reuse the file in multiple jobs, I can do that. So for that, what I need to do, I need to go to this particular repository metadata. If you scroll down, you can see I have file Excel option. Let me right click to that and you will see create file Excel. Just click on that. Rename the name that give a proper name. Let me give it as Excel. You can provide purpose description, or you can mention what is the proper version also. And even you can select the status, is it for development, testing, or production. These are not mandatory, but you can provide those things and click on next. Select browse and select the appropriate file. I will select this one. Then in this I have two tabs. One is sit 1 and sit 2. So you can see my two tabs has two different data. I can, if I want to select only one tab, then I can select that. If I want to select all the tabs, then also I can do that. Let me select all the tabs here. Let me see the data. So now you can see I have this is my data that is coming here. This is my header in the first tab. This is my header in the second tab, but it is not treating that as a header. It is treating that as a record. So for that, if I want to make this header as one, let me make this header as one. Let me refresh. If you see here, employee ID, we had employee ID two times, but the first record in the tab one where we had employee ID, that is now gone. But in the second tab we have this employee ID, but that is still there. It will not get removed at this point of time. It will be treated as a data. So we can't handle this as of now, but there is an alternative way we can handle that. And if we have any footer, then we can add that also. Let me but I don't have any footer as of now, so let me not have any footer here. Let me select on set header row as a column name. So whatever is my header, it will be treated as a column name. So you can see my column name has become employee ID, first name, last name, department, and date of joining. Let me show you how the footer looks. So in my first tab, I have 1, 2, 3 as employee ID, and in the second tab, I have 4, 5, 6 as employee ID. Let me click footer and let me select one. Let me preview the data. So in that case, my last record is 3 and my last record is 6. So let's see which record it is trying to fetch. If you see here, it is not treating 3 as the last record. It is treating 6 as the last record. As you can see, I have this header, I have selected one. So from the first tab, it is treating the first record as a header. So how many tabs are there? The last record it is pulling in the last tab. It is currently considering it as that record as a footer. So that's why employee ID 6 is now not visible. Let me unselect this. So for header, the first tab, first record will be treated as header, and for footer, the last tab, last record will be treated as footer. But if I want to propagate the same thing, header and footer for all the tabs, as of now, it can't be handled here, but it can be handled in a later point of time. We will discuss that in detail. So I have a limit. So if I do the limit as 2, so what it will do, it will totally read two records only from all the Excel. There might be three records. You can see here three records are there in first tab, and in the other tab we have three records. So let me select limit to. So if I select limit to, you will see that only two records till it has pulled the two records, then the processing will stop. It will not proceed to the other tab. Let me uncheck this. Yeah, and first column, if I show you the Excel, this is my Excel, and you can see employee ID is my first column, and my second column is first name, last name, department, and date of joining. So as first column one is selected, so that's why employee ID is being treated as my first column. So if I mention two, then the second row in this file, what is my second row? F name is my second row. So second row, that is F name, that is first name, will be treated as the first column. You will see employee ID will get removed. So you can see first name now became my first record. Let me reset it to 1. Is nothing is mentioned in my last column, so how many columns are there in the table, it will consider all of them. But if I want to limit, now suppose say I want to limit till employee ID, first name and last name. So last name is my third column, so I can mention it as 3. Let me refresh the preview. You can see only L name got selected, and the rest all it is not considering. Let me remove the last name, as I want to consider all the data that it has. Now let me click on next. Then give a proper name. Let me make it metadata only, no issues. So I can always change the data type if I want to do, and the length and precision. But let me not change anything. Let me click on finish. So now the metadata is created. Now what I can do, I need to read the Excel file. So for that, what I need to do, I need to go to palette, under file input. I have T file input. So let me drag that and bring it to the designer. Then I can select that and go to component. Then instead of properties, let me choose repository. Instead of built-in, let me select a repository, and I can select the appropriate metadata here. Then all the properties will be automatically filled up. There is one more way to do this. I can click on T file input Excel. I can drag this particular metadata and put it on top of this. Then you can see automatically all the properties will get filled up. I have one more option also. Let me show you that. If I directly click on this metadata and drag on this particular designer, then it will ask me which appropriate component you want to use. I can select T file input Excel. Then that icon will get created, that component will get created, and rest all metadata is selected here. Rest all properties are auto selected the way we have mentioned that in the metadata. Now let me use log row. Let's join both of them. Now let me connect this Excel to T-log and let's run the file. Let's run and see how the data comes. Yeah. So let me run this particular job. So now you can see there are total 7 records got selected. How is the 7 record? This is my first record, 1, 2, 3. And in the second tab, we have this employee ID, then 4, 5, 6. So it is stating that employee ID as a record, it is showing that data here. So now suppose say I want to treat that first record in my second tab also as a header. So for that, what I need to do, I can go to component. I can click on this affect each sheet for header and footer. So as I mentioned, header is one, and the same thing will be affected on each and every spreadsheet. Now let me run this particular job. Now you can see there are total 7 records. Here you can see total 7 records are pulled. So 1, 2, 3. Then employee ID as a data. So let me click on run. Now you can see total 6 records are pulled, and the header is in the header in the second tab is also treated as a header, not as a data. Let me go to component. So die on error. If I want to fail the job, if there is an issue, then I can click on that. If I want to trim all the columns, and then I can click on this. And if I want to uh, click on trim on any specific columns, then also I can do it. If I want to convert the date to string, then I can click on this. If there is any extra record, empty record in my data, if there is any empty record in my data, so if I click on this, it will get stopped. Let me click on this. And as of now, I don't have any empty records. So let me run this job first. So you can see there is no failure. All the records got selected. But suppose let's put some space data. Let's put some space in it and let's see how the data comes. This is my file. Let me add a space here, empty record here. So in my second tab, the first record after header is an empty record. Let me save it. Got downloaded here. Let me change it to input 2. Let me make it Excel input 2. Now let me go to the job, modify the file name. The structure is same, but let me modify the file name here. So if I click on it, you can see whether you want to update the repository connection or you want to change the built-in properties. So if I click on update the repository connection, so whatever is there in this metadata, this will directly get updated. But if I want to make this changes locally to this particular job, I can click on this change to built-in properties. So as I want to make this change for this particular job, I can click on this change to built-in properties and click on OK. So what is the file name I have put? Excel input to. So now let me run it. Now you can see only three records are pulled. Fourth record onwards, it is not getting pulled. Why? Because three records it got pulled, and in the fourth record, first record is a header, so it is treating this as a header, and this particular record is it is empty, and we have selected this particular option. We have selected this particular option, stop reading on encountering empty row. So that's why it has stopped the read and only three records were pulled. Let me uncheck this first. And let me check. Let me run it. Now you can see all the records are now pulled. 1, 2, 3. Then it's empty record. Then 4, 5, 6. So this is how we will be reading a file which has the data in Excel format. I hope this session is informative for you. If you think the session is informative, then please like and share the video and subscribe the channel. Thanks everybody.